let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter number 9, related services. If you have any doubts in chapter number 8, no issues. I am always here at your service, right? Fine, sir. Let's go to the chapter number 9 and see what chapter number 9 has to offer. Sir, easy standard, sir. Easy chapter. Absolutely easy chapter. Clear? It looks probably bigger, right? But nothing, very easy, right? In fact, you'll be surprised now. You know, the next chapter that we are going to do, that is after this, chapter number 10, according to the sequence. You know, that chapter can give you 1 mark. Chapter number 10 can give you 1 mark. There are exceptional attempt can give you 4 marks. Clear? Which means it is not so consistent enough. Right? So, literally with conviction, people can tell that that chapter can be skipped. Because the content is also lengthy, but don't worry, in the class we'll be doing it. As a student for you, I'm telling you, don't stress too much on that particular chapter. Do it. Get an overall overview of what is happening in that standard. Clear? Try to focus more on other standards. All right. Now we are going to start with 4-digit standard. That is SA 44004410. Now, anyone has a problem with these type of standards? Some of them, I think you are getting to know only for the first time that there are these type of standards. Yes. Apart from that, now chapter number 9, 10 and 11, it is about 4000 series, 3000 series, etc. and 2000 series. Okay, we are getting into the 1000 series now. We are done with the 100 series, but no, not done means completely we are not done. Right? 8, 9, 10, 11. In these 4 chapters, we are done with 3-digit series. Now we are going to 4-digit one. Now, related services. SRS is what we use here. What we use? SRS. What is SRS full form? Standards on related services. Standards on related services. Now, in related services, first and foremost, write this. In this entire chapter, we are not going to give assurance. What do you mean by assurance? What do you mean by assurance? Meaning of assurance is what? Enhancing the degree of confidence in the users so that they can take a better decision. But in these cases, we are not going to give you any assurance. There are 2 things. No assurance at all. Because the nature of services is like that. There are only 2 things we'll be discussing here. One is called as agreed upon procedures. And one is called as compilation. Now in both cases, you know why we are not giving assurance? Because this is neither an audit nor a review. It's neither an audit nor a review. But in SRS 4400, we give a report. Sir, what nonsense you're talking, sir? Are you high? No, sir. See, we don't give assurance. We don't do audit. We don't do review. But we give report, it seems. Yes, sir. It's called report on factual findings. Report on what? Factual findings. Clear? Yes. Now, sir, let's talk about agreed upon procedures first. Sir, what is agreed upon procedures? See, for example, if the client comes and tells you, sir, can you do one thing? You're not doing audit, no problem, sir. We have like 50 bank accounts. How many? 50 bank accounts. Can you do bank reconciliation statement for us? And if you say yes, agreed upon procedures. Now for bank reconciliation statement, you provide audit report. No. Review report will give? No. Number one. Number two, sir, stock we don't know how to count, sir. Can you please count and give us a report? What procedure it is? AUP, AUP, agreed upon procedures. Clear? Sir, can you also take stock counting plus reconciliation of that? I can still take it. It is called agreed upon procedures. But if they say do a stock audit, then essay? Very good. Essay online. You tell me which is applicable. If they specifically ask stock audit to be done, essay? Not Siri. Tell me, SA. Which essay will be applicable? 805 will be applicable because 805 talks about what? Specific element. So inventory comes under specific element or specific item. Clear? Okay, sir. Sir, okay, we understood that. For bank reconciliation statement, why simply a standard should be given, sir? Madness or what? Normal bank reconciliation, no. We'll do it and give. Why a standard is there? A standard should be there because whatever you're doing under this chapter, who puts the scope? Management. You're working as per management's scope. Tomorrow any misunderstanding happens. Who will sort that out? No one will sort. Misunderstanding between management and you only, no? So tomorrow if any misunderstanding happens, no, you told me this you will do. You told me this you should have done. Now you, no. 50 bank reconciliation statement correct. For the last 10 years you should do and give. You accepted it. Excuse me, boss. What nonsense. Now in this case, if you're telling me such things, stock audit to take of all 10 branches that I have. Sir, this was not agreed. No, you agreed, sir. You agreed. Oral agreement is, it could be valid, but it could be dangerous also. And that is why for these type of related services, ICA only said, don't worry, I'll cover you. Okay, I'll give you a standard to ensure that you follow these methods. Now you can't argue, no. If I'm agreeing with SRS 4400. Clear? Chartered accountants in practice are often asked to provide services to the client which do not involve expression of an opinion on the truth and fairness of financial statements. So it's not that always we do audit only. Clear? For the purpose of standardizing the procedures to perform such kind of non-assurance services, the AASB of ICAI issued two standards, SRS 4400, SRS 4410. For this purpose only, so that you can be appointed to provide services which do not involve expression of an opinion. So for expression of an opinion, already we have so many standards. 800 we have, 700 we have, so many standards we have. But for those work where opinion is not given, we don't have any standards. And that's the reason why SRS is there. To tell you how to perform such work. To tell you how to perform audit, we have SA 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 series. But to perform those work where opinion is not involved, we have SRS to your rescue. Now, what do I mean by RS, related services, sir? For that, we need to understand what is assurance engagement. This is your entire concept. What is assurance engagement? It is an engagement in which practitioner expresses a conclusion designed to enhance a degree of confidence of the intended users other than the responsible party about subject matter against criteria. Chapter 1 in your CA Inter, this is the meaning. First chapter only they have given the meaning. Because even audit is an assurance. Review is an assurance. Related services is an assurance. But this assurance is little different. We don't give any report and all here. Okay. It means practitioner gives an opinion about specific information due to which users are able to make confident decisions, knowing well that chance of information being incorrect is diminished. They never said eliminated. They never said eliminated. It is what? What do I mean by diminished? Diminished means what? reduced considerably. So obviously, sir, chance of information being incorrect is reduced, sir, meaning chance of being information being correct is increased. And that is where practitioner is important. Clear? Not all engagements performed by practitioners are assurance engagement. Other frequently performed engagements that do not meet the definition of assurance engagement include consulting or advisory. What assurance you are giving here? Nothing. You're just giving your advice there. Number 2, engagements covered by SRS, such as agreed upon procedures and compilation. These are not assurance engagement. And this is what we are doing now. We don't give any assurance here. We just do what management has asked us to do. Clear? Now, sir, independence and all that we'll talk. Don't worry. Okay, everything will come into the picture. Preparation of tax returns is not assurance engagement, sir. Sir, what nonsense. Preparation of tax returns is what? From the information you have given, we are preparing income tax returns and giving it to you. Clear? Where no conclusion is conveyed, sir. Okay. Above engagements are in the nature of RS. HQ. Point number 3. Hidden question. Hidden question. What are agreed upon procedures already discussed? Examples are discussed. Let's understand the meaning. What's the meaning, sir? Read the meaning. Could be. Could be. But if you're giving that, you can't be an auditor of that company. Section 141 prohibition. Section 141 prohibits if you are giving specified services under 144, in their management consultancy services is there. You cannot be an auditor.
Take up this kind of service.
No, you can't. You can't. See, specifically in company, if you give management consultancy services, you can't be an auditor, no. Right? Now, if you're an auditor and taking up this, you'll be disqualified. Casual vacancy. Only this, if you want to do it. As a CA, I am taking up only management consultancy services. Okay, I am not giving any report there.
As a CA, taking up management consultancy services, which is at 144.
144.
144. Plus, being the person who has come into the engagement to perform agreed upon procedures.
Agreed upon procedures. Yes, because in both cases, you're not giving any report. Clear? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. As long as you're not the auditor, that no problem. Okay. Even bookkeeping and management consultancy you give, no issues. What are agreed upon procedures? Meaning. Very important. It's an engagement to perform agreed upon procedures. The auditor is engaged by the client. Here, sir, remember, here we are called as auditors in SA 4400. Clear? Therefore, it is mentioned here as what? Auditor engaged by whom? The client to issue a report of factual findings based on specified procedures performed on specified subject matter or elements or accounts or items. So basically what? Sir, there is a person called as auditor. He is engaged by a person called as client. He will issue what?
Here they call him as a practitioner.
Where? I'll tell you where. I got a confusion. In SRS 4400, we will be calling him as auditor. In SRS 4410, we'll be calling him as practitioner. Okay. 4400 auditor. Sir, why auditor, sir? Because you'll understand in some time. Okay. There is one point where they say you have to put procedures like audit. Procedures, he agreed upon procedures. BRS, you have to check and put no BRS. So checking will come under audit only. So you are putting up a procedures like audit, but not doing audit. That's why we call him as what? Auditor. Okay, the one who audits is called as auditor. Okay, sir. Now, let's talk about it. So here if you see, is he giving audit report? Is he giving audit report? No, sir. He is giving report on factual findings based on specified procedures performed. Not all procedures, specified procedures performed, specified subject matter, not everything. So all these things who decides? So client. Therefore, scope is decided by whom? Scope is decided by management. Scope is decided by whom? Management. For example, an engagement to perform agreed upon procedures may require the auditor to perform certain procedures concerning individual items of financial data, accounts payable, accounts receivable, purchases from RP. Now they'll tell, sir, that RP definition and all, we are finding it difficult. Now in this, can you please give me a report on how many purchases we have done, how many RPs are there in this? In those cases, I can agree on that, and I'm not giving any report on it. I'm giving a report on factual finding, meaning what is as per your books, what is there, and what is my findings. Only 2 columns I'll be giving as a report, so that you'll get an idea. Understood? I'm not signing any audit report here. Okay. However, now this is important. However, a person performing RS need not necessarily be the auditor of entities FS, meaning companies, for example, companies auditor and RS auditor can be different. Can be different. Clear? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. SRS 4400. SRS 4400. Now, 4400 talks about what? Engagements to perform agreed upon procedures regarding what? Financial information. Here we are referred to as what? Auditors. Okay. Why this standard, sir? Why this standard is easy? Sorry?
Actually, 4400 is oh. Okay.
That's first page, I think you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not SA 400, by the way. SRS 400. We are not doing audit here. We are doing only what? Agreed upon related services is what we are doing. So it's very small. 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5 page. Clear? And SRS 4410 is again around 5 to 6 page. Clear? In this, no, Institute's favorite standard is 4410. Institute's favorite. Because 4400 is very easy. Why the standard, sir? Provides guidance on the auditor's professional responsibilities, how to perform the AUP. Not only that, form and content of the report, how the content should be given. Because if the standard is not there, no, you'll be giving, sir, 100 people will be giving report in 100 manner. Correct? That's the reason why standard said, no problem, I will give you exact template. You have to follow that template only. Understood? Clear? Okay. Let's talk about the objective. Did you understand why this standard is there? First of all, tell me guys, why this standard is there? Because to guide the auditor or the practitioner, how you are supposed to go and perform, what type of opinion you should give, or what type of report you have to prepare, not opinion, what type of report you have to prepare. Let's talk about the objective. What is the objective in accordance with SRS 4400? Carry out procedure of an audit nature. Sir, what do you mean by this? I have written not to audit, but procedures like audit you have to put. What are the procedures like auditor? Inquiry, inspection, right? Observation, reperformance. So these things only will be doing it, but not in the form of audit, but like audit. So procedures of an audit nature to which the auditor and any appropriate third parties have agreed and to report on factual findings. So report is given on what? Findings, that's it. As the auditor simply provides a report on factual findings, no assurance is provided by him in his report. Instead, users of the report assess for themselves the procedure and the findings reported by the auditor and draw their conclusions from the work done by auditor. So basically what? My job is to just give you report on findings. What is there in the books? What I found. Decision is whose? Yours. Evaluation is whose? Yours. Comparison is whose? Yours. Everything you will only do it. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Next. Sir, this report is usually restricted to those parties that have agreed to the procedures, since others unaware of the reasons may misinterpret the results. And that's why we don't usually get these reports. Because these reports are nothing but between two people, agreed upon procedures. No. Now see, bank reconciliation statement, if the client has appointed me for BRS, I will prepare BRS and give the findings to whom? To whom will I give the findings? To the one who appointed me. Yes, which means the report which I have given to management, is it publicly available?
No.
Is it publicly available? No. If it is not publicly available, then from where will we get? Right? So generally it is restricted to only those parties who had asked for. Okay? Such agreed upon procedures, engagements are called as non-assurance engagement, where you are not giving any assurance because no assurance is given. No assurance is given. Understood? Yes. Okay, sir. What is the difference between audit and agreed upon procedures, sir? Tell me 2 points with your common sense. Just now you understood the logic. Tell me 2 points with respect to this. What is the difference between audit and our agreed upon procedures?
That is a assurance based. This is non-assurance based.
Okay, that is an assurance based. This is a non-assurance based.
The report can be circulated publicly.
Okay. A audit report can be circulated publicly, but report on AUP cannot be circulated publicly. Then
And the essays are the basic principles on which the audit report is formed. Here we do not form any, we do not use any standards on.
we do. Standards on audit we are not using. So that point how you have to mention is, there for audit we refer SA, for AUP we refer SRS. If you mention we don't have standard, it will be very wrong. Instead we will get very angry. Clear? It's full difficulty I made on standard and you're telling there is no standard for this. Okay? Right, sir. Very simple difference. Clear? Between audit and AUP. Audit and AUP relates to assurance only, but audit expresses an opinion, provides an assurance to users. Right? However, in agreed upon procedures, only a report of factual finding is given. No assurance is given to users in case of AUP. Instead, users draw their own conclusion. Okay. Agreed upon procedures, engagement to evaluate validity of accounts payable may state the following. See, this is an example. Comparing the names of suppliers, clear, and the amount outstanding as on the date of trial balance. Obtaining supplier statement and confirmation from suppliers to confirm balances as on that date. So take the confirmation and check and tell. See, this is what your trial balance shows 10 lakh rupees, confirmation shows 20 lakh rupees. That's it. I am not giving any opinion. Clear? Then, now comes the main part. Principles of an agreed upon procedures. Clear? Market is important. Easy one. Clear? Easy thing, but market is important. Generally, this is not Institute's favorite question, but yes, we never know. Exceptional items. General principle, reporting, documentation. We are done with the standard. Okay, sir. Let's talk about general principles. Sir, should I need to have ethics? Of course. Ethics is required everywhere, except one ethics, sir. Independence requirement is not there, sir. Why? Independence requirement is not there. Why? I want you only to think about the logic and tell me. Independence requirement is not there. Why? Kyun? Yenduku? Yedukku? Yake? Manage. Very good, Rishabh. Super. Who laid down the rules? Who's deciding the scope? So how can I be independent? Correct or not? Bank reconciliation statement. Whose bank? Management. Whose account? Management. Whose balance sheet? Management. Whose presentation? Management. Who's preparing? I am preparing. For whom? Management. Independence, it seems. Can we have independence that way? No, sir. We cannot have independence that way. Understood? Clear? Yes. No intended users. No, there is intended users, Pooja. Here, intended users is nothing but management itself. Here, responsible party and intended users both are. And who appoints us? Wow, management appoints us. Management decides our scope. Correct? Management gives us information. Everything management is doing. From where can we have independent? That means, listen. Can I mention in my report independent report on factual findings? Report on factual findings. That's it. Are you understanding this? Clear? So independence requirement is not there, but IPCCO should be there. What is IPCCO? Integrity, professional behavior, right? Then professional competence and due care, confidentiality and objectivity. IPCCO should be there, just that independence is not required. However, the terms or objective of the engagement may require the auditor to comply with the independence requirement issued by ICAI. So, sir, standard says independence is not required. Standard says what? Independence is not required. But if code of ethics says no, independence is required, then it will be a trouble for me. Then I can't take up. But there is one more. Where you are not independent. No problem, sir. When you are not independent, a statement to the effect should be made in the report of factual findings. So you take it up, no problem. Do one thing. In your report on factual findings, put a statement. I am not independent of the entity. Okay. That I do not have independence. You mention that. That way users will understand that, okay, this is not an independent report given. Clear? This is management oriented report only. Let me take a decision on that. Clear? Okay, sir. Defining the terms of engagement. This is nothing but SA 210. Defining the terms of engagement. Number 1, sir, ensure with the representatives of the client and other specified parties who will receive the copies of report, there is a clear understanding regarding agreed upon procedures and condition. Otherwise, this is to avoid misunderstanding. To avoid misunderstanding. To avoid misunderstanding. Okay, Dana. Now, sir, matters to be agreed include the following. Mark it as an important question. Mark this as an important question. Matters to be agreed include the following. Number 1, nature of engagement, including the fact that procedures performed will not constitute an audit or review, and that accordingly no assurance will be expressed. Sir, what do you mean by that? It means that nature of engagement, are you doing bank reconciliation statement, stock audit, clear accounts payable checking you're doing, accounts receivable checking you're doing, loans and advances you're doing. What are you doing? Nature of engagement. Now, agreed upon procedures, so many things are there. Right? So, what technically are you doing specifically mentioned in the report, your engagement letter? Clear? Then, stated purpose for the engagement. What is the purpose of this? So, to find out whether there is any huge difference between cash book and bank book. Clear? Identification of financial information to which agreed upon procedures will be applied. What financial information? From where? Books of accounts, ledger, bank book, what? From where are we getting this information? Nature, timing and extent of procedures to be applied. What type of procedures? When and to what extent? Clear? This should be there. Then, limitations on distribution of the report of factual findings. When such limitation would be in conflict with legal requirements, do not accept the engagement, sir. Read this and explain it to me. 1 minute I'll give you. Read point number 5 and give explanation. Right. What is the understanding of this point? Limitation on distribution of the report on factual findings. Sir, factual findings, when you give a report to management, do you think this should be circulated to public? When management has appointed me for preparing VRS for you, for stock audit, stock reconciliation that I want to do for you, do you think this report should be circulated to other places?
No.
No. Therefore, we need to put what? Limitation. Clear? Do not distribute there. So that also should be put, sir. You know why? Tomorrow if they distribute,
Then again,
where is the agreement? Where is the proof? That's why SRS 4400 is there. Clear? So we need to specifically tell, boss, see in the agreement only you put. Do not distribute to outsiders between you and me. Then it's okay. Ask me.
before, before May 2024,
Hmm.
that time all these standards were not there.
Hmm.
So in practical life also these were not applicable.
Standards were there. Just in syllabus it was not there.
In practical life these things were there.
Practical life is very different. Clear? Just that syllabus got little changed and they thought we'll introduce this because CA profession has to be aligned with global profession. Because once you clear CA, if you want to travel abroad, they need to give you that scope and that space, right? So for that purpose, they had to, change the syllabus according to what global standards requirement is there. This is applicable globally also. Just every Indian standard that we have now is very closely related to international standards. I can say there is 90% match. There is certain modifications. That modifications will be given specifically in the bare standards. When we read the bare standards, at the end of the bare standard, they have given modifications with ISA. So they'll mention in ISA this is there, in our standard this is not there. So those things separately given, but more or less now, for example, SA 810, we read this report only, no? We read this report only, no? This report is prepared as per what? But isn't the content matching? So to match with the global standards, they have put that. Okay, that's how the syllabus, that's why syllabus got changed. Just not because they want to irritate the students with that, just because we have to comply with, otherwise our scope will be restricted only to India. So for that, if you want to go global now, you have to do something like ACCA or CPA, etc. Let's change our syllabus to such an extent where even if you are going out, Indian CAs will have value. Okay, so these things were there before also. We used to follow this before also. Just that we never knew about it. Right? Now ISA is there. Correct. You finish CA, you go and work for a company. Imagine that company is actually doing audit of foreign companies. Now they'll follow which one? Which means now you have to study ISA there. ISA is there anyway, no? So if I try to inculcate in my report my syllabus only, that's why if you see revise will be there in standards. So that the content will be revised. Clear? So that you can match with the international standards. Only that modifications you study for them. Now consolidation, if you see, we follow April to March. They follow Jan to December. So now only for consolidation purpose, that Jan to December has to be converted into April to March. Or probably our April to March should be converted into Jan to December and then consolidate. Correct? So for those things only these standards are there. Okay, it was there before also. Okay, right. So in the interest of the both, sir, it is better auditor sends an engagement letter to management. Why auditor should send?
Just so in future if any problems come up.
Not that. Just so you don't skip certain points. If I prepare, I'll prepare all these things, the nature of engagement, stated purpose, nature, timing and extent, all these things I will put in the report, in the engagement letter. What if I give management that freedom? No, management will tell, hey, remove that fifth point. We don't want that. Because tomorrow if something happens, you'll circulate it. No boss. 5 elements should be there in the engagement letter. One is nature of engagement. Clear? Second is purpose of engagement. Third is identification of financial information, not AFRF. Right here, not AFRF. Because you'll forget. Then NTE of procedures, limitations. Clear? You can remember it as LINP N square. Okay, LINP. Like how LIMP we'll have LINP. right? L for what? Limitation. I for identification. N square, nature of engagement, nature, timing, and extent. And P for purpose. Just for your execution part. See, I'll give you one more tip today. Understand this and execute that when you're studying. Whenever you're studying audit, there are technically three phases. You have to study audit in three phases. Okay. If you have time, please execute this. It is very effective. If you don't have time, very difficult to execute this now. Three phases. Phase one. Whenever you're reading a standard or a concept or a point, in that phase one, you should try to understand each concept. That's it. When you're understanding the concept, you should not be bothered about whether I will remember these points, whether I'll be able to execute these points in the exam, right? Whether I'll be writing the same things in the exam. That is none of your business in phase one. Phase one, just about what? Understanding. Then comes phase two. Phase two, once you have understood it, then comes phase number two. In phase number two, all these shortcuts, mnemonics, story, characters, connections will be given. Then comes phase three. Phase three is execution part. In phase three, what you should do, whatever mnemonics you have studied, write it down. Whatever storyline you know, write it down. Keywords, write it down. Clear? And that is how you handle this subject effectively and efficiently. Three phases. You'll have to work a lot. Definitely you'll have to work a lot. You have to earn it. Clear? So yesterday I just saw a meme once. One of the students sent me one meme. Some parliamentary clip was there where our Prime Minister is telling, "Ek akela sab pe bhari padega," and they have told it's audit. Here, audit is one paper which can ruin your career is what they mean. It doesn't, provided you know how to handle it. It can make your career rather. See, that's made my career. Right? So, what you are supposed to do is three phases you have to understand. Phase number one is understanding phase. Phase number two is where you start writing concepts of, mnemonic shortcuts and other things to remember. Right? Phase number three is execution. So, do not get execution problem in phase one. Do not have understanding problem in phase three. Clear? So, phase one probably you might take some time. Phase two lesser time. Phase three depending on how many times you write. Because there is no hard and fast rule that you have to write 10 times only. Some people in 2 times they get it. Writing practice must be there. In writing practice, note down the time that you're taking. So these are the three phases that I generally recommend in audit, whether it is inter, whether it is final. Boss, both places have audit. Both have very similar structure. Here probably a little more is there. So try to understand in this phase if you are able to manage. Trust me, audit is, I can say it easy. Question paper is not easy. That depends on the attempt. But confidence level will pakka increase. Okay. Now, so what do I do? In the interest of everyone, auditor should send a letter to whom? Management. Because I don't trust you, sir. What if you skip certain topics there? Clear? So, I will send a letter to you. You accept it. An engagement letter confirms the auditor's acceptance of the appointment and helps avoid misunderstanding regarding objectives and scope, extent of responsibility, form of the report. So, basically, this question can be asked as purpose of engagement letter. Purpose of engagement letter. Which engagement letter? Agreed upon procedures engagement letter. Agreed upon procedures engagement letter. Clear? Huh? Matters that would be included in the engagement letter include listing of the procedures to be performed. Sir, here all the procedures are listed. What all procedures I'm putting? NTE, nature, timing, and extent of procedures, entire thing, and a statement that distribution of the report would be restricted to the specified parties who have agreed to the procedures to be performed. Put in the report. See, two things have repeated. One is here, correct? Huh? This one, right? And listing of procedures, nature, timing, and extent. Same point is repeated here, which means focus on these. Can be asked. Clear? Right, sir. Then, as usual, put up audit planning and strategy planning program as usual. Clear? And then procedures and evidence. Put the right procedures and get SAI. What procedures are generally? Inquiry, analysis, recomputation, comparison, clerical accuracy, observation, inspection, same procedures. Nothing great. Clear? Nothing less. Right? Okay. Then we have reporting and documentation. Clear? Fine. We'll take a quick 10 minutes break. Okay. And then continue. Right. Reporting part. In case of AUP, how do we need to report? The report on agreed upon procedures engagement need to describe the purpose. Yes, clearly describe the purpose. Why are you doing this? For what is the purpose of doing reconciliation? Right? Could be management's purpose. So describe the purpose clearly and the agreed upon procedures of the engagement. Both you have to tell what procedures you are putting, what is the purpose, and in sufficient detail to enable the reader to understand the nature of work performed and the extent of work performed. Nature means what? What type? What type? Clear? And extent means what? How much? The report should also clearly mention that no audit or review has been performed. Mark it as an important point. Mark it as a very important point. Very important point. Okay, report should also clearly mention that no audit or review has been performed. The report of factual findings should contain these things. What is that? Title. So, since this is a restricted copy, we will not be able to, I'll not be able to share it with you or show how the report looks like. Okay, nothing else. I don't have anything against you. Wherever possible, I'll be showing all the reports. Clear? In SA 700, going concern, EOM, OM, adverse, qualified, then your disclaimer, every report I will show you. Okay, so that clarity will be there. But in this case, since it is restricted, no, very difficult to find any report as such. Okay, so title should be mentioned. Addressee, who is addressee? Generally the appointing authority. It could be management only. Clear? Identification of specific financial or non-financial information to which agreed upon procedures have been applied. Now MCQ. Can agreed upon procedures be applied on non-financial information? Yes. Inventory, stock count, financial information, no, non-financial information. So on financial information also you can apply AUP. On NFI also you can apply AUP. Clear? Statement that procedures performed were those agreed upon with the recipient. So whatever procedures we have put, it is already agreed with the recipient. Who is the recipient? Management. Okay. Then statement that engagement was performed in accordance with the SRS applicable to AUP. So applicability of SRS also will be mentioned. Identification of purpose, listing of specific procedures performed, description of factual findings including sufficient details. Now this I'll put a star mark here or I'll put a hashtag here. Star mark denotes something else only. Sir, what do you mean by this, sir? This means, here only I will draw and show you. How that report will be prepared is, 2 columns will be there. Okay, 2 columns will be there. Here, they'll write factual findings. Okay, and here, with respect to the procedures. Clear? Here with respect to procedures. Now, for example, if they are talking about how, the reports looks like. So, in the procedures, they'll write verified accounts payable, clear, accounts payable, so many accounts payable we verified, so many creditors we verified, etc. And in the factual findings, they'll be mentioning about what exactly they found. Clear? Right? So, for example, I'll write an example for you guys so that a clarity is there. Obtained listing of all contracts, obtained listing of all contracts for the period, mention the period here. Okay, yes, and identified those value above rupees, let's say for example 5,000. Okay, then here we'll write identified, let's say 75 contracts, identified 75 contracts over rupees 5,000 out of total, let's say 250 contracts. So when I say this, now you as a user, You will only take a decision. Okay, these many contracts are more than 5,000. Ah, okay, sir. Out of 250, you will only calculate the percentage. The 30% is more than 5,000 rupees. That means 70% is could be less than 5,000. So these people deal with small contracts and not big contracts. So you take a decision on that. Clear? So here procedures performed will be mentioning and then factual findings. Like this, you have to give a report of everything that you have done. Understood? Clear? Yes. Okay, sir. Next. Now, point number IJKL, put a star mark. Point number IJKL, put a star mark. Once you put a star mark, write whatever I have written there. Precautions to be taken by person so that readers don't misunderstand its scope. So, these are the precautions that you have to take. These four. IJKL, these 4 points will come under precautions to be taken by person. Person means who? Auditor only, no? Auditor, so that the readers don't misunderstand its scope. Okay, sir. Point number 1. What should we consider? A statement that procedures performed do not constitute either an audit or review. Clearly mentioned, this is not audit, this is not review as well. Okay, then statement that a statement that had the auditor performed additional procedures and audit or review, other matters might have come to light, would have been reported. So clearly you should have mentioned, if I have done the audit or review, maybe some more matters would have come to the attention. Third, statement that report is restricted to those parties that have agreed and the procedures to be performed. Meaning what? Restriction. I can also say limitation on distribution or restriction on distribution. Clear? Then L1, a statement that the report relates only to the elements, accounts, items or financial and non-financial information specified and that it does not extend to the entity's financial statement taken as a whole. With next one, nothing, limitation on distribution, you write. A statement that the report relates only to elements, accounts, items and financial and non-financial items specified and it does not extend to financial statements. So where is it specified? Specified in the engagement letter. Specified in the engagement letter. Specified in the engagement letter. Clear? Okay. Next, date of report as usual. Place, signature. Now here UDIN we will not put because assurance is not given at all, therefore no UDIN is required. MCQ can be asked. In case of these two standards that we are going to learn, UDIN is not at all required. Clear? Okay, sir. Next, documentation. Maintain documentation for those matters which are important in providing evidence and evidence that engagement was carried out as per this SRS and terms. So, what all I should keep a documentation of it? Matters which are important. Okay. Second, evidence that engagement was carried out as per SRS and terms of engagement. Terms of engagement, audit engagement letter is there, your related services engagement letter is there, no, that you maintain a copy of it. Clear? Documentation is important but not here. Here you just remember what we are supposed to document. That's it. Right, sir. Test your understanding. Question number 1. Read. A company asks you to carry out the process of confirmation of its accounts receivable having balances in excess of 10 lakhs as per books of accounts at the close of the year. The work to be performed only involves preparing and sending confirmation request, analysis of variation on receipt of confirmation, submitting a report. What points have to be kept in mind for inclusion in the report specifically for such engagement? What is the requirement? What points have to be kept in mind for inclusion in the report specifically for such engagement? What will you include? What will include? These precautions. Understood? These precautions only you put. If you want, you can write all the elements also, no issues.